This year marks 6 years since my D-Day. I've decided that it's finally time to tell the story of my D-Day because I've never written it down since it happened. Before I found out about my wife's indiscretions, I was already dealing with the aftermath of her alcohol addiction and reproductive medical issues, which only worsened the addiction. During that time, my wife was in trouble with Child Protective Services because during one of her drinking binges, she endangered our youngest child by driving with him in the car. During a 72-hour hospital hold, triggered by her being drunk in public and threatening suicide to a police officer, I gained access to her phone because of a business we jointly operated. On her phone, I saw an email notification from Ashley Madison. I opened it and discovered that she had an account and was actively communicating with several men. Being who I am, I broke into her Ashley Madison account and began reading everything, and my heart sank to its lowest point. I called a person, F, who I thought was a mutual friend. I told them I had found my wife's Ashley Madison account and that she had been cheating on me. My so-called friend said it was even worse, that she knew my wife had had an affair with my brother. When I tell you my heart fell out of my chest, I mean it. I couldn't believe it. This was my wife of 9 years. Not only was she messaging men on Ashley Madison and bragging about a 6-month affair, saying she never even left lipstick at their houses, but she also had an affair with my older brother. I saw red. I called the hospital and confronted her. She confessed immediately. I don't remember much after that, but I know I called her every name in the book. Then I went on social media and publicly outed her. After that, I dealt with my brother. I called him. He denied it. I told him I knew who he was, that I had kept his secrets, including a child born out of wedlock, multiple affairs with the wives of his friends, and several abortions. Then I called his wife, our father, and our sister, and none of them believed me. He went into damage control mode and claimed it was all just my wife. After that, I immediately asked my wayward wife how many times, how many people. What I learned was that once or twice a month, her job required her to travel to the town where my brother lived, over 30 minutes from where we lived at the time. She would meet him for lunch, go to a hotel, and have sex with him. I asked, "Did you come home and me the same day you him?" She said no. I wanted to know if she gave him oral. She said no. I wanted to know every position they did it in. I wanted to know what the room smelled like. She told me the affair lasted a few months and had ended about a year ago. I asked about the Ashley Madison messages. She told me that when she drank, she would go on there looking for attention because I wasn't giving her any. Now, let me give you some background. After the affair with my brother, she lost her job, the one that required travel due to health issues, female reproductive problems. She talked about starting her own business, and like any good husband, I supported her. We started a party and music entertainment business, which, because of its nature, only fueled her alcoholism. I was a full partner in that business while also working full-time to provide our insurance and a steady income. I worked 18 plus hours a day, 6 days a week. I asked her, "Why did you do this to me?" But honestly, no answer was ever good enough. She apologized over and over again. Her best friend visited her in the hospital psych ward, overheard me berating her, and said, "You deserve this and more." Before all this, I had never raised my voice at her. Her ex-husband had physically abused her and tried to strangle her in front of their daughter, and I had always been the calm, supportive one. The next 2 days were a blur of heartbreak and rage. I started pulling everything from her phone and reaching out to the men from Ashley Madison. No one responded. I knew she'd be discharged soon, so I made arrangements to go to my mom's house and told her everything. The look on my mother's face was pure devastation. Even though my older brother wasn't her biological son, she knew how much I loved him. She knew that our dad wasn't around and how, when I was younger, my brother helped my mom buy my school supplies because my dad would ask him to front the money and promise to pay him back, which he never did. I knew my brother was trash, but I was his little brother, and I would have died for him. Now, he claims it never happened, but the moment she confessed, I realized I had been idolizing a monster. I called my family lawyer and started divorce proceedings. After she was released from the hospital, she went home, took every pill she had, and called her dad to say she was sorry and that she loved me. Her dad called me. I called 911. They found her and brought her back. I returned home to take care of the kids. After she was released again, I left. At that time, at that time, my son was staying with my mom, and her daughter was visiting her grandmother out of state. I know this is just a glimpse into my D-Day. How I went from that to reconciliation is a mystery to me. But to add more to the chaos, during that time, my son was diagnosed with a mental illness. My WW, wayward wife, had legal issues due to her alcoholism and couldn't be left alone with the children unless I or someone else was present. So until she was admitted into a mandatory rehab program, I moved back in and slept in my son's room. She had to complete a 9-month therapy program with random drug and alcohol tests. To afford that, I had to give up our home. I just couldn't manage the costs. I know most people would say, she did you dirty and you're still taking care of her. What's wrong with you? What can I say? The love was still there, though the respect was gone. She was still the mother of my children. I considered her daughter mine since her biological father was garbage. At that point, I was a robot. I had no feelings. I had stopped crying. I told my brother he was dead to me and cut all ties since he wouldn't man up and just admit, yeah, I did it and I'm sorry. I held on to the business and ran it solo while working full-time and caring for my son with my mom's help. My daughter moved to another state to live with my WW's mom. Child Protective Services continued doing spot checks to make sure my son was okay. I managed his mental health issues. I didn't go to therapy. I felt I wasn't the broken one. I didn't do anything wrong. She did.